When dieting for my first figure competition, should I be watching sodium levels the whole prep or just focus towards peak week? Absolutely do not cut sodium out. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can do. Your body needs these water-soluble electrolytes to conduct electricity. Basically, your muscle contracting is coming from your brain. Your brain is sending an electric signal to your muscle to contract. Without those electrolytes, your body's not going to be able to contract its muscles adequately. So absolutely keep electrolytes in there. It's one of the most important things. Don't drop your sodium too low. Sodium is a water-soluble vitamin, so it only takes about a day or so of flushing out to get rid of your body. So yeah, it only matters the last week, more so the last couple of days. So yes, please don't cut sodium out. Is it best to lean bulk or just go crazy, adding weight, and then go on a cut? Yes, going crazy and adding weight, that's stupid. I mean, if you're just doing it for whatever to get strong, that's fine. But if you're going for competition or you're a bodybuilder or you're taking your fitness absolutely seriously, yeah, it's stupid, because that's just going to increase the more amount of time that you're going to have to spend dieting it off. I mean, I started dieting and I still have my abs, and by the second week I hate dieting. You know, so if you want to drop all these crazy pounds and diet for a long time and work your ass off to do it, you know, I guess if that's what works for you, but it's absolutely not the most optimal. I think George Farah said, if you don't have your abs in if you don't have your abs in the off season, don't call yourself a bodybuilder, because you're not. So yeah, lean bulk. Get yourself shredded, then lean bulk up. Do you think drinking a gallon of raw milk a day is a healthy way to bulk? Absolutely not. Your body doesn't have the enzymes to break it down. I'm sure if you're drinking a gallon of milk, you're not taking an adequate amount of vegetables, enzymes, coenzymes, vitamins, minerals. That's like only eating chicken breast. You know, you can't cut out certain macronutrients or certain food groups, because all these food groups collectively keep your body healthy, keep your body working properly as a functioning body system. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. 3 supplements that are a must for bodybuilding other than BCAAs, creatine, and whey. Good question. What type of bodybuilding are we talking about? If we're talking about professional bodybuilding, you know, it's probably the things that you guys would least expect. Electrolytes, omega-3s, coenzyme Q10 for heart health, blood pressure, probiotics, anything that's going to aid in digestion, liver support, organ support, joint support. So these are all things that you have to ancillary with, you know, certain vitamins, minerals, natural supplements like that. For the average person, if you're trying to cut, you know, a good thermogenic, a good fat burner, omega-3s always, and vitamins, a green supplement, probiotics, things that are going to alkalize your body and support your natural detox mechanism. If you're trying to bulk, calories. That's really it. It's just calories. What's the best way to bulk up your pecs and cut them? Bulk up, you got to eat enough, and that's all there is to it. Be eliciting a certain amount of damage that you need to do to your pecs in the gym so that they will grow, and then, you know, train the same way but cut your calories down. And it's gonna, you know, it's not gonna just cut your pecs. It's gonna come off collectively over your entire body. But I mean, you know, the answer is calories. You know, you have to know where you're at as far as calories. That's why nutrition is so important. What are your thoughts on total intake protein needed per pound of body weight? Again, it depends. How hard are you training? How is it per lean mass or per body weight? So I usually go by lean mass if you're over 12% body fat, or even if you're under 12% body fat for that matter. I mean, fat's not metabolically active tissue, so you don't need calories for it to just sit on your body. Yeah, it kind of depends on the person. Is it a rest day? We're not going to need as much protein. Are you training for endurance? Are you training for strength? Are you training for hypertrophy? So these are all factors that come into play. So it's not as easy as, okay, 1.2 grams per pound of body weight, even though that's a rough estimate. Sorry about that, guys. Camera died. Battery died. Okay, where were we? Protein? Yeah, so again, it's one of those things that depends on the person. Depends on individual factors about your training. and also on the caloric value of the other macronutrients that you're taking in. What if you don't want to take a rest day? Don't take one. No, see, that's tough. If you were me and you were doing your own prep and your own diet, and I woke up and I had all this energy and I was ready to go, but I had scheduled myself for a rest day, I'm not going to take one. I'm going to use that energy and try to get the most out of that workout. And so I might have to push that back. But if you're someone else that has a coach or a trainer that has you structured for a rest day and they want you to stick to their plan, I don't know. I would try to communicate well with your coach that's making these decisions. A good coach is going to listen to you and is going to make the appropriate decision as it pertains to your energy levels and whether or not you're recovering faster or slower, or if you just need time off. So, I mean, again, bodybuilding is about your body. It's about the individual. So you need to make informed, intelligent decisions and listen to your body and how it's reacting to the amount of calories you're taking in, the amount of calories that you're expelling. So these are all really important factors, and you need to be listening to your body and cognitively making these decisions for yourself, but with the help of your coach, obviously. One of my favorite hats to rep. Good shit, brother. Thanks, Torres. What are the pros and cons of carb backloading and creating large insulin spikes before bed? Good question. Carb backloading. If you guys don't know what carb backloading is basically keeping it very minimal carb until later in the day when your body could use it more effectively. More so in like post-workout recovery, and then later at night, so that it completely goes against the whole idea of not eating carbohydrates after 6 p.m., which is silly. If your body needs them, it's going to use them. And so the idea is to minimize carbohydrates in the morning, and it's actually going to improve your insulin sensitivity throughout the day. So that's your body's ability to use carbohydrates. When you're taking carbs right away, your body's going to be a little bit more insulin resistant throughout the day, rather than if you did high fat, high protein with some vegetables. Your body's going to use those carbohydrates a little bit more effectively later in the day. So yeah, it's a very effective technique if you're trying to cut body fat. Is it the most necessary thing if you're already really lean? Probably not. It's one of those things where, if you're really insulin resistant, I'd start you off on fairly low carb all day. As you become more insulin sensitive, maybe you could start dabbling with carb cycling, carb backloading. But as you get leaner, your body's going to start using carbohydrate very effectively. And I usually start incorporating more carbohydrates as they get leaner, and then minimizing fat intake for that exact reason, just to get the most out of your workouts. Cons, I wouldn't say there's too many cons. Again, where are you in your current settings? How lean are you already? It's probably not the most necessary thing if you're too lean. Also, it's probably not going to work very well if you're, borderline diabetic. But it is very effective. Carb backloading is very effective. Any tips for a first-time competitor? Yes, find a good coach and make sure that coach knows what they're talking about. If your coach is somebody who did a competition that was trained by somebody else and they're basically feeding you the same bullshit that they wrote out themselves, they probably don't know what they're doing. And when you ask them questions, they're probably just going to get the same answer that they got. So if somebody can't tell you why they've done something, or why they've made a decision, or why they gave you this food or that food, or train this time or do cardio then, if they can't tell you why, they have no business advising you. So make sure you're finding a coach that knows what they're talking about and isn't just giving you the same information that their coach gave them. Because it worked for them, there may be a million different factors that don't apply to your lifestyle, to your body index, to your nutrition, to a ton of things. So you just never know. So if find somebody who can explain to you why. My favorite snapback. Gee. What's better to do? Stack tons of creatine or eat straight meat and veggies to stay lean and cut? One, if you want to get lean and cut, I probably wouldn't take creatine. Two, if you wanted to get the amount of creatine that it takes to saturate your body with creatine, you'd have to eat a shitload of steak. like a shitload of steak. More, you know, so much that you wouldn't be able to stay lean and cut anyways. So I'd say if you're trying to maintain size and cut your calories, I would just take creatine. Yes, creatine does exist inside of meat, but not nearly as bioavailable as if you supplement it with exogenous creatine. That's an awesome question. What does alpha mean in detail? Is it something I should take forever or only for NPC training? I really do want to know. I don't care if I win. That's a good question. Alphamine is a supplement by PES, Physique Enhancing Science. It's a thermogenic powder. So it's basically a fat burner just in powder form. What a thermogenic does is heat up your body, get your heart rate going. It puts your body in efficient fat burning mode to where you're going to effectively burn more calories than if you didn't take it at all. Say if you ran a mile one day and you burn 100 calories, and then the next day you ran that same mile, but you took a thermogenic, you're gonna burn a couple more calories. Now, it's not gonna do it on its own. It's what you do after you take it that's going to elicit that fat burning effect. It is very effective. I like alphamine a lot. To answer your question, should you take it forever or just for NPC training? I absolutely wouldn't take it forever. It's a central nervous system stimulant, so that's something you're going to want to cycle off of or kind of wean yourself off of after a good amount of time. If you're NPC training, chances are you're going to have an off season pretty soon, so I wouldn't be taking a thermogenic while I'm trying to put on size or if I'm doing an off season. And like anything, you should absolutely cycle because your body's going to always get used to whatever you throw at it. So I mean, it's really healthy to cycle on and off things, especially stimulants like this, because if your body's constantly being bombarded with stimulants, it's going to inhibit your body's ability to recover. And you always want to support your body's natural detox mechanism and your body's natural recovery mechanism. It's the most important thing. That's the last question. So yeah, that was it. Thank you guys. Those are awesome questions. I really appreciate your involvement and for asking. I'm going to do another one of these because you guys seem to respond really well to it. I want to thank my sponsors, Inspire Nutraceuticals, for sending me all this cool shit. Re-upping on my Devastate, re-upping on my course, my fat burner. I'm using this stuff during my prep right now and things are going pretty smooth. I'm going to be dropping the Devastate probably in about 2 weeks, so I'll be 2 weeks out when I drop that. I'm also going to drop all sorts of preservatives, artificials, anything that's going to cause water retention or inflammation inside of my body I'm going to get rid of. I'll probably keep the fat burner in there. Yeah, things are going smooth. Thanks again, guys, for participating. Brian Martinez, Thelocalfit, and we'll see you next time.
Now in my younger days, I always had a question. In my younger days, I always had a question. In my younger days, now in my younger